how do we start to think about networking in a way that's going to allow us to realize that vision? And what are some of the first steps? Admittedly, I'm not a very good networker. I'm uncomfortable in this space. So I'm telling you.
That might actually make you a really good networker. Because
really?
Often people misconstrue networking and they think that networking is they think of a good networker as the person who's blazing around a room, shoveling their cards out to people, and as I like to say, kind of like vomiting and regurgitating their own goals and aims on other people in a way that's really off-putting.
Yep.
Or that's only out for themselves. What's that?
Yep. That's horrible.
So that's what a lot of people think networking is. That's definitely not what I think networking is. For me, networking is just a fancy word for relationship building. And so that can look like you and I having a one-on-one conversation that also happens to get pushed out to the whole world. Or it could mean showing up to networking events. It could mean hosting events. It could mean hosting dinner parties or small gatherings. It could be having a meeting of 3 people. It could be phone conversations. There's so many ways to build relationships. And so where do you start? I think everyone often takes for granted that you already have a network no matter where you are and what stage of life you're in, that you've already developed relationships, whether it's classmates, family, friends, coworkers, colleagues, these 1 degree out people that maybe you've met at parties. These are all people who are in your network. So once you've gotten fairly clear on what is it that I want and what is that going to cost, then it's really wonderful to understand, well, what doors do I need to open to get there? And now we've got so many incredible tools like LinkedIn and Facebook that tell you how many degrees of separation you are away from these people. And so even if you don't know who the person is, it takes one quick little Google search or LinkedIn search to recognize, well, if I'm trying to get to the CEO of X, I'm trying to get to the hiring manager at Y, very easy to find who that person is and to contact them and reach out and do it in a way. I think this is where often is a stumbling block. That instead of reaching out to people from a perspective of, I'm looking to get something from you and you don't know me from anyone, really critical to be a person of generosity and giving and value additive nature. And that can also seem really strange when you're thinking, well, this person doesn't know me and I don't know anything about them. How do I add value? Often it's just about the way in which you approach them. So if I were to email you on LinkedIn and we had never met and I was trying to, get a job, then I would probably do my homework and get really clear and understanding on learning a bit about your background and what matters to you, which is also very easy to do by looking at your LinkedIn profile or doing a Google search on you and seeing what's published about you or by you. And then with that, I would craft a very clearly personalized message to you that probably would also call out the elephant in the room and say something like, hi, Brandon, I know you don't know me. I've been studying a bit about you and your work and I'm really impressed by it. And this might seem strange, but I had this one question that I would love to know from you, or I saw this thing and I noticed we had it in common because people love to find kinship, or, maybe there's something that you can ask of them or offer to them that you can recognize might be of value before you go in with, hey, can I pick your brain? Which I think is an awful question. Or can I get on the phone with you for 30 minutes or an hour in a coffee meeting? Because this person feels very uncertain of, you're probably thinking, well, who are you? What do you want from me? This feels like you're trying to get something from me or sell me something and I'm already really busy. So naturally you would either ignore that email or probably say no, unless maybe you were having a really special day and you just wanted to say yes. But the chances
really special day.
Yeah, the chances of that are really slim. But to come to someone in that way of looking at it from these value additive perspectives, or just a human perspective of, listen, I know that you don't have a lot of time and I've done my research, but there's this one question I have for you that usually will ingratiate you with someone to the point where they think, well, I'll do you one better. Like, why don't we just hop on a call or ask me the question? And then maybe from there, they'll think, great, is there anything else that I can do to help? And in that case, you kind of let it be and see what happens. But the better thing to do is to get a warm introduction and reach out to someone in your network who LinkedIn will tell you that they know, or Facebook will tell you that they know, and just say, hey, I'd love to know him. Here's why. Would you be comfortable seeing if he's open to an introduction? Yeah. Another key to being a great networker is not blindsiding someone. So if this were in my case, let's say Isaac, your producer, wanted an introduction to me from you, you would come to me and say, hey, Darrah, this guy Isaac wants to connect with you and here's why. Is it a good time and can I make that introduction? Then you look awesome because you got my buy-in. Then you get a chance to reconnect with me or whomever the person is. And then I will probably say yes. And then you get to connect all of us and you look really great to both of us. And then we go off, have our connection point, And then it is our responsibility, both of us, to follow back up with you and let you know what happened, so that one, you know that we're not jerks who took advantage of your reputation and didn't do anything about it. And so that it'll also help you better make introductions for us in the future, because maybe I would say, Isaac was a nice guy, but like really, I don't really understand where we were going with that, but we had a lovely chat. And that might make it clear for you that, okay, next time maybe I can craft it better or prep Isaac to know how to come to the table more clearly. Or I might say, that was a home run, here's why. And then you say, great, I can keep that in mind for future introductions. So it benefits and behooves everyone in the circle to do those follow-ups and be a person of action and follow through. So, I could honestly go on, but I'm going to stop and pause because I don't want to commandeer your entire show.
That was awesome. That was like a master class on networking. So let me play back to you what I heard. You tell me if this sounds right. So come with a spirit of generosity if you want to network. So it's really about what can I give to other people? And then you got nice and tactical too. You said, reach out, do your homework, reach out. And if you can offer something to someone, great, but ask if you can focus it down to one question rather than saying, hey, can I pick your brain? Or I get the ones all the time. Hey, I'd love to buy you lunch if you'll drive an hour down to my office. Yeah, no, I can't do that, right? So rather than make that ask for their time, ask for that one question, which often will lead into other things. But if you can go even better than that, the warm intro is fantastic. And looking for people inside your network who can connect you. And then if you do start to do things like that, be aware. I love the idea of not blindsiding someone, where you
if I can add to it, because now you're making my brain go crazy in a great way, is one of the best things to do in the networking sense is to be a connector yourself. And so I hit on this loosely around this idea that I just shared. But if you can become a person who people can rely on to be sort of the hub in the middle of a wheel where all the spokes go out and web out, and they know that rather than going one person here and one person over here and try and accomplish something, that you're a person that they can go to accomplish 17 things at once instead of one, that you're going to know so many people and be great about introducing and connecting, and that they're going to be successful and that people trust you because of that. This takes time and pouring into your network and your reputation to get there. But this is one of the biggest shortcuts to accomplishing that which you want in life, because then people are going to realize, well, I should just reach out to Darrah because I know I'm going to be able to get all this stuff done and knock it all out. And I just trust that people are going to want to say yes because of her reputation and relationships with them too, which means that you have to be pouring into the relationship with me or whomever the connector is to be the recipient of that. And to be the connector yourself means you have to be building up that reputation and building up a strong network and nurturing it, which is obviously the next piece of how do you nurture a network.